Hello, I'm Toycat, and welcome back to the video. Today I want to talk about battle minigame in Minecraft, and I wanted to give some suggestions on how it could be improved. The 4J team have really showed that they are dedicated to improving this game, whatever it takes, and I think that's really cool. You know, just a week after we got a balancing update that made a lot of cool changes, a lot of which were on this list before I made this video, by the way, and I think what I would do is I would share some of the changes that I think could really improve battle minigame, and this is kind of like an open letter to 4J that all of you can enjoy, and hopefully watch and share and all that sort of stuff too. So hopefully you do all enjoy this video. If you do, like and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and if you have your Twitter linked to your YouTube, which you might do, it should be able to tweet it at them too. But yeah, with that said, let's get straight into the first one, which explains why I just threw away my instant health potion, which you might be a little bit curious about. Basically, yeah, I want to kind of explain exactly why some potions suck, and kind of the first point here is going to be improved potions, because right now there is this really big divide between good potions and bad potions. You know, Poison 2 is a pretty good potion. Potion of Strength is an amazingly good potion. Potion of Harming, especially times 4, is just amazingly good. You see this guy was killed with it, even though I was winning that fight. There are some really, really good potions, but the instant health potion is one of the really bad ones, because it only restores, I believe it's 2.5 hearts, it might even be 2. It restores so little for the power it has, and if you're at the point where you have time to drink something, it's not mid-combat, it's going to be somewhere where you actually have some time, and why not just regenerate naturally? And when it's such a small amount, it just doesn't make sense. I just think the easiest way to make instant health have some use at least, and to be worth storing, is to make them all instant health 2, which is some, you know, instant health 2 potions do exist, they're just kind of slightly rarer. I'd like to see them all be instant health 2, kind of in the same way that we fixed poison by making it that way. I'd like to see instant health do the same. And a similar thing applies to the potion of fire resistance you're seeing here. This is a 20-second potion, so even on the most useful map, this is Crucible right here, where I'm going to get the most use out of it, you have to predict when you're going to be knocked into lava, or you're going to be hit by a fire arrow 20 seconds ahead of when it happens, and even then, 20 seconds isn't long enough to drink it in the lava, so you have to just kind of assume all this stuff, and it's just a little bit crazy to me that it's only 20 seconds. I'd love to see the fire resistance potion, maybe not be, you know, anything too crazy, but 45 seconds. Also, just one that came by default. But yeah, I'd like to see it something more like 45 seconds, or even, you know, like a minute. I don't think would be too OP, but something longer than it is right now would be definitely better. So yeah, instant health should be buffed, so should the potion of fire resistance, and I could see a few of the other potions seeing small buffs, but they're the two biggest ones that just need the change. So the second thing I'm going to suggest here, while we're in the lobby, is to add more food to battles. So this is something that I know they have to be really, really careful with, because you add too much food and suddenly you don't have to move around and you can just sit there because you've got food to survive. But I really think they should have more food, because, especially on small maps, this is because the number of games I've played where someone's just starved to death is suspiciously high. It really should be the rare case where, you know, you don't go getting food, so therefore you die. It shouldn't just be like, oh, I've got to really hope I get food from one of these chests, otherwise I'm just going to die. I really don't like that system, and I'd like to see more food. Again, this is an issue mostly on the small variants of maps. Maybe it's something so of the chest distribution. Just adding more food in there, even if you have to have bad food to make it so there's some food. You know, maybe that I think that'd be really cool, because although there's some amount of this that can be controlled by just rationing yourself and walking instead of running and stuff, it's just like, I don't think that's something that should be necessary. I think maybe add a higher rate of base hunger, but then add more food to chests. I'd like to see some form of balancing there. Anyway, let's move on to the next point I want to raise here, which is more rare items. So rare items are something you run across all the time, you know, in battle mode, or at least there's one particularly rare item, the fishing rod, and I really like the idea behind them. You know, like there should be good rare items that you obviously need to get, but there should also be ones that kind of change up the playstyle. So the fishing rod, for instance, you know, not only is it kind of this really weird knockback weapon that can lure people, you know, you can do some really cool stuff. The fishing rod is what I'm trying to say here. Not only is that fishing rod like that, I would love to see something else in the game, you know, something along the lines of like a golden apple. So you get that piece of food, and it's like, it's not going to win you the game, especially not a regular one, but it will give you 2 extra hearts, which is a really big deal for when you go into, you know, like when you go into combat, you've got the 2 hearts, you can win it that way. It's kind of like a potion of healing, but good. In fact, why not replace all potions of healings with golden apple? But more seriously, I'd also like to see something like a flint and steel, because the fire charge showed just how cool the fire can be. It never goes out, because that's not how this whole thing works. So having a flint and steel with maybe, let's say, like 10, 20, 30 durability would be so cool, because it allows you to control the map in a really interesting way. And because if you make it rare, it's not going to be too OP, and plus, you know, it's a flint and steel anyway. You know, it'd be really interesting to like lock off, let's say, you know, the spawn from every direction but one. Having the idea that you can actually have map control and you can do that flint and steel, I'd love to see that. So yeah, more rare items, particularly flint and steel, particularly the golden apple. You could see more ones like have weird enchantments, you know, on weapons and stuff. But for the most part, I would really just love to see that. Or maybe like have, you know, like a diamond sword which has 1 durability left, something, you know, crazy like that. I love to see more wacky items that can mix things up, because when you play battle, you know, I must have played like hundreds of games of battle by now. You know, it's these rare events that make certain games really cool, and having more of them would be really cool in my opinion. So moving on from that, we'll go to the next point here, which is to give private games more rules in battle. So the reason I'm suggesting this one is because if you don't recall, back when battle was in beta, I know this was only like for certain events, there actually were a whole bunch of rules you could customize, and although there were certain rules that were always used, I think the idea of being able to customize games is good. But obviously for public games, you can't do that, because otherwise you ruin the rule sets, so make it so private games only get an extra set of options. So you have to play a public set of rules by default, which will be the most popular ones, you know, the ones right now, but then you can make it so private games have more, separate rules. So if you want to make it so chests refill every, 60 seconds instead of every 30, you can do that. If you want to make it so that, chests never refill, it's all down to whatever you get the first time round, that would be an awesome little change too. And I'd love to see more stuff like that hit the game. So yeah, give private games more rules, particularly the ones we saw that already do exist in the game in some form. Grace period, for instance. Make it so you can have 0 seconds if you want to. Make it so you can have a full minute. Make it so it's like a real arms race. I'd love to see something in between those two. And yeah, more private options is a good thing. So moving on from this next point, as we chase this guy up a pyramid, that's usually not how this works. I want to move on to the final point here, which is something to do with Showdown. So Showdown is one of the cooler, kind of things that exists in, Minecraft, because it allows you to see people through walls. But there's one fatal flaw of the way Showdown works. So it should activate soon, because there's only 2 of us. We'll see when it does. But the problem with Showdown is that when you crouch, your name is hidden. So I think this would be cool if it only worked for like 5-10 seconds at a time, but that is really complex. But the way it works right now, where it is just like, oh yeah, you crouch and you're hidden, it kind of defeats the entire point of Showdown mode, It's meant to let you both know where each other are, but if the other guy's hiding in a corner because he's just, being a bit of a jerk, then, oh, guess what, you can't do anything because he's crouched. No, Showdown mode should be the time where you cannot hide from people anymore. It should be like, maybe like Showdown mode 1 and Showdown mode 2, where you can crouch, then where you can't. There has to be some way to find people who are crouching, because although there are certain situations where hiding for a little bit is cool, I think, or maybe what it is you can make it so, they show up every 5 seconds, so it's not permanently where that thing is, because you'll see in a few seconds when it activates. Well, I thought it'd be a few seconds, but no Showdown mode just yet. But yeah, whenever Showdown mode is active, it's just a permanent lock on where they are. I think maybe instead what you could do is you can make it so it's like, every 5 seconds it refreshes, like in other games. I know there's a few suggestions on how you can do this, but I know Showdown mode right now, every now and then you find someone who tries to ruin it for you by crouching, and that's just really lame. So yeah, here you can see it's just a permanent look of where he is. He knows where I am, I know his. It's really cool in that way. Also, this guy just starved to death, basically. I mean, I finished him, but that's that. So yeah, I hope you did all enjoy my 5 suggestions. To kind of clarify here, more potions, or better potions, more food, crouching shouldn't hire you in showdowns, more rare items to mix up the game when you do get that rare stuff, and also to give private games more rules, because I think the ability to do different things with friends is another thing that can really extend the lifetime of this, and I think that's good for everyone involved. So yeah, hopefully you did all enjoy this video, giving 5 suggestions for battle mode. Please do like it if you did like it, because again, it helps out the channel a lot and all that stuff. Share if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. Again, share this video with 4J if you want them to see it, whether directly or indirectly. And yeah, besides that, I guess I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everyone!